Alright you guys, welcome to part 3 of my engine bay shave. So this is the final installment of the engine bay paint, shave, tuck, restore, whatever you want to call it. I said restore, really weird. Restore. For now, I gotta get to the primer. Everything's sanded, ready to go. I sanded it down with a 180 grit sandpaper. Every part of the engine bay that has any kind of Bondo or metal showing, which is a good part of most of it, so I'm probably gonna end up just respraying the entire engine bay with primer. All right, so for today, we're gonna be using Shopline primer. For the base coat, we're gonna be using Shopline DJ2 Black Emerald, which is the factory color of this car. They only made this color for, I think, like a year and a half or so, and it's really grown on me since I've owned the car, so we're gonna stick with that. Now for the clear coat, I'm going to be using Finish 1 FC720, and I will be mixing it with FH612. Now I should probably use a little bit warmer of a hardener for this. This is all I got, so this is what we're going to use. So I apologize guys, I accidentally messed up with the camera and I started out recording with the paint, but unfortunately the first layer of primer I wasn't able to record. But as you can see, the first layer is down. I've got a couple little spots I need to touch up on around here for like body filler, a few imperfections here and there. This looks like leftover crap. This is something I just completely missed. It shouldn't take too much time, but we're gonna sand it down, put in some more body filler, sand in the other spots that I need to, and then we'll get right back to it. So stick with me. Alright, and we're back today. I'm not going to have too much time to spend on it today, but I did want to touch up on a couple little things that I've got going on here that I'm going to clean up. Now that the primer's down, obviously I can see a lot more. Some of the stuff like this here and all that down there, I'm not gonna worry about too much, mainly because this will be completely out of the eye. But the main parts that I'm really worried about are like this corner here. As you can see, there's still a lot of crap in there. It's just really hard to get any kind of sandpaper or anything in there. And then it's the same thing over here. I'm gonna try my best to fill this in, make it nice and smooth. I got a couple little dimples here and like right there I want to fix. I'm just gonna fix those few problems and clean it up a little bit. I gotta sand them down, obviously, lay the primer back into it. I think I may even fix these dimples through here. So I got quite a bit of work to do yet. It's not 100%, but we're getting there. Obviously this was already primed before. I just had a few little spots that I needed to touch up, so with those touch-ups, I needed to respray it. That way there's no moisture or anything like that that gets into the glazing putty or body filler. Also, the epoxy primer will fill in any very fine dimples or divots that the glazing putty did not get. The only thing I'm going to be kind of bummed about is the fact that these dimples are still here regardless. Let's go ahead and get this last coat of primer on this and get it ready to go, and then that'll be pretty much it for this. I think that's gonna do it for today, you guys. That's pretty much it for the primer anyways. In another day or two, I gotta wait probably at least a day for this storm to roll through. They're saying it's gonna hit like a category 3, and it'll probably hit somewhere north of me, but usually the east side of the storms are usually a little bit stronger than the west sides of the storm, and unfortunately, we're on the east side of the storm. With that said, tomorrow I'm gonna have to take a day off, which will give this plenty of time to dry and set up. I'm gonna let it set up, come through, sand it all down with like a 400 grit before I lay the base coat on it. And once the base coat gets on this, it's game time. But anyways, let me wrap this up and I'll be back. All right, y'all, Hurricane Idalia has come and gone. This is the extent of our damage. There's no damage. I think I had one tree branch fall. I got a lot of trees at my house, as you can see. Oh no, there was 2. But they were both dead, so it didn't really matter. They needed to come down anyways, and the storm did it for me. So anyways, now that the hurricane's gone, done, over with, we got to focus back on to the Z. So today is the day, since I primered it the last time, it does have a few little spots where it's kind of rough. So I'm gonna go through, sand everything down so it's nice and smooth, get rid of any kind of orange peel or anything like that. It is prepped and pretty much ready to go. So is it raining? It's raining. I was just talking about how the storm has come and gone, and it's raining. I actually think it's a really good day to paint, as long as it's not too windy, even though it's now raining. The rain kind of keeps the dust all settled, so that's no big deal. But yeah, anyways, let's get to it. We got a lot to do, so.
Ayy, I got the recipe, never gonna let any op get the best of me. Thought it was distance, but haters is next to me. Talk to the spirit, you know I've been heavenly. Company definitely show your trajectory. This ain't a diss cause I say it respectfully. It's time to eat up, red like a speeder. Taking it deeper and that's how it better be. I never let the comparison get to me. I just remember the promises meant for me. I know the enemy and that he's sent for me. I keep the blood of the lamb as my centerpiece. I cannot trust in no crystals or energy. Look at the chemistry, it do not even mix chemically. Most of the tricks, they be gimmicks, they mimic the truth. It's poison and we got the remedy. There is a bomb, apply it, the fire can stand to the tallest of giants, the tyrant and all the suppliers are scheming and lying. They selling his dreams and we buying it. Show me.
All right, so I'm gonna be honest. Originally, I wasn't gonna tuck this because I tried fitting it through the hole and it wouldn't fit. So after doing a little bit more research, this should technically slide right through that hole, and it wasn't doing it for me. And now that I look at it closer, it looks like this back here might have been bent or something from the accident that it had years ago from the previous owner. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to rebend this back and try to stuff this through the hole and tuck it under the fender well. Anyways, I got it pulled through, even though there was a little dimple and this hole isn't as it's supposed to be. It was a little tight, but we got it. I'm gonna tuck it up, bolt it down, find a bracket or something. Maybe I'll show you guys that later. But as for right now, I gotta get to painting this car. That's #1 priority today. But I'm happy I got that pulled through. So on to the next thing. And in addition to painting this, I will be painting the underside of my hood, because when I painted the car, I didn't really care or do anything with the hood on the bottom side. All I painted was the upside. But wait, there's more. We also have a Twin Z front valence for the USDM front bumper. I've kind of stayed true to the USDM styling. It's kind of a weird thing with me. It's more of a personal preference. I have this weird thing where if I see everybody doing something, I want to do the opposite. Long story short, my wife got me this for Christmas probably about 2 years ago, and it's been chilling in our spare bedroom. I never got around to getting paint and getting this put on, obviously. But We have paint now. We're gonna get to that, and I may even take a lunch here because it's staying really hot and humid because it rains, and then after it rains in Florida, it gets insanely humid and sticky, and it's like I'm breathing underwater. Stickers recommended engine oil. Hey guys, what kind of oil do you recommend I run in my car? Most commonly asked question in the history of all automotive forums. All right, what y'all think? This is coat number 2. I'd say 2-3. It's not really a good solid second coat. It's more of like a 2, maybe 3-ish coats. I'm gonna go ahead and do one more final coat over this. This next one's just gonna be super thick and super heavy. And everything else on here is, oh yeah, I'm not too happy about this, but and of course it's raining again. So that's exciting. Alright, getting ready to do the clear coat now, and we are just going to go over it with a tack cloth real quick. Just go over it and tack cloth everything, make sure it's all nice, and up here there probably isn't much, but you get the idea. Most of what I'm concerned with are the fender wells right here. Okay, now for the clear coat. We are using Finish 1 FC720 and Finish 1 FH612 medium hardener. Keep in mind, it's like 90 plus degrees and 100% humidity right now. It's freaking raining outside. It feels like it's 105 degrees in here. If you can, at all, get a slow hardener. The slower the hardener, the more self-leveling the clear coat will do for you. Let's get this mixed up and ready to shoot. on. Out. Yo, this turned out so freaking good. I am so pumped to see this completely dry. It's still a little tacky. I don't even want to put my hand over it, honestly, because if I drip any sweat, that's game over. The last coat I did, super heavy. So like borderline, we've got runs, boy. This is so good looking. I love this color. I honestly I can't believe it. It's finally done. I've been waiting so long for this, and I'm so happy that I've done it. The paint for the engine bay is down. It looks beautiful. I mean, it could be a little better. I'm not perfect. Everyone messes up. I learned a bunch of new things from doing this. Obviously, the welding and some body filler, but more importantly, when you lay down primer, sand it down as best you can to get that smooth surface. That way, when the actual paint goes onto the car, it lays on even smoother. Now, another issue that I was having was that I'm using a medium hardener on my clear coat. Now, what that means is it'll try to dry really fast, and if it dries too fast, it'll leave more orange peel. For today, I'm gonna finish up the fuse box, pull off all of this wrap, covering, so on and so forth. At least put the headlights back in, you know? Start putting the harness back in the way it was and it's supposed to be, and mounting up little things here and there. So let's get back to it. The bumper's gonna stay off for now because when I put the motor in, the bumper needs to be off as well as the bumper support. So that's at least gonna stay off, but everything else can go back together. Alright, so I was just fumbling around with this fuse box here, and this is kind of where it's going to end up. There's a pre-existing bolt coming out of the frame right here, and this is the plastic bracket from the factory of the fuse box. So if you can see, I don't know if you can, but it's tucked in there way up in the left. There is about probably another ½ an inch of room between that fuse box and the outer fender. So test fit, checks out good. This is awesome. This worked out really good. I didn't even have to change anything and it'll bolt right up, so that's pretty cool. All right, you guys. Okay, so I have my wiper motor, the wiring, which normally runs out of this spot right here. It runs along this firewall. There's little tabs up here. I removed all of these tabs and shaved them all down. So now what I'm gonna do is run the wiring inside the cowl. I'll probably end up zip tying it up so it's not gonna get in the way of the wiper motor assembly. So there we go. I didn't even have to trim any wires or anything like that. And now this should plug. It's a little tight, but it plugs right in. Look at that. Let's wrap this up. zip tie, throw some zip ties around there, and we should be good. These are all of my accessory wires here, guys. So in case you're wondering, like, oh, what's all this extra crap? My flex fuel sensor, I got my wiper motor transistor. Probably zip tie that right there. Okay, so pardon the mess. I literally have harness just following around. I've got all this to find. I gotta find a spot for all this. So I have this bracket right here. I think what I might do is put this bracket right there and then just kind of hold it in place. I like that idea. Hey, I like it. What do you think? Okay, so let me start off with saying that was a ton of work. If you guys have been watching all these videos by now on doing all of this to the engine bay, if you plan on doing this, don't expect it to happen overnight. This was like a 2 or 3 week. Yeah, it took a long time, a lot longer than I actually anticipated initially. Although I will admit that when I first started out on this, I only wanted to respray it just how it was. Now, just to go over everything that we've done, I have welded in all the holes on both fender wells, body filler, glazing putty, and paint, obviously across the entire engine bay. For the most part, the engine harness is being tucked. What I mean by that is the parts that go from like here, run along the frame rail, back to the transmission. There's also the alternator harness that just runs right here. I'll more than likely be running that through the fender well. I've relocated my fuse box. I've kept the factory battery tray. I am running a catch can that fits perfectly on top of this. For the fuse box that was right here, I relocated it to right here. The harness runs kind of behind it and loops in. I just have a lot of stuff that I'm getting rid of that I don't need. It's been in the car, and honestly there's a lot more that I could get rid of, but I'm running out of time, and the only way to really get rid of everything is to rebuild the entire harness. And to be honest, I'm not quite ready to do that. This is gonna do it for today, guys. Actually, tell you what, you want to see this thing in the sunlight? I kind of want to see what it looks like in the sunlight. So freaking good. Paint is still curing. It's not fully cured yet, and obviously the harness is to be all put away, but for the most part the paint and bodywork portion of it is done. I got my fuel regulator mounted up just to see how that's gonna fit. I love it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. As of right now, the engine bay is done. It's clean, it's painted. Next up on the car, I'm going to be running a Volvo electric power steering pump in the back bumper of the car, actually. Also, I will say I just got some goodies for the motor, so we'll have to pull the timing belt off and do some of that and get that all put on there. So stick around. I've got more goodies coming out for you guys. I work an average of about 50 hours a week at my normal job, and then I work on my car on the weekends, and I try to edit this video during the week after work. So that's about 2 to 3 hours every night after work that I spend editing the video, and then probably about 2 or 3 days out of the week that I spend working on the car. That's a lot of time spent between work and just YouTube alone. So I really appreciate all of you guys that have been helping me out, promoting me, pushing me to do more. I love all the positive feedback I get. I try my best to run with the positive feedback and correct what I need to work on. So if you guys have any advice or anything you want to see in the next couple videos, drop it down in the comments. Any questions, just leave a comment for me. I do my best to look at them all, respond to them all. But you know, we're gonna keep grinding away at this thing, so stay tuned. We'll catch y'all later. Peace out.